going down.
Right? Absolutely.
I'm really excited to talk.
All right.
You'll be very enriched.
All right. So I'm just waiting for you to tune in. I'll send them the link. And happy MLK Day today. This is our Dr. Martin Luther King Day today.
What do
It's
you
his
think?
birthday.
What do you think about when you think about Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday?
One thing about Dr. Martin Luther King, all the opportunities that he has made for us, that so many people take advantage of, that they don't realize all the opportunities that he gave us. You know, for us to even work a simple job, for us to even drink at a water fountain, you know. I couldn't imagine them days, you know, you doing segregation. I mean, you can't drink at a water fountain.
Right.
You got to sit at the back of on the bus. I mean, man, couldn't go to school with another race. You had to be bused to another school with less affordable means. You're a doctor, so
Yeah.
you, your journey wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for the incredible, amazing Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Yes.
I just want to continue to give praise and say thank you for all that you have done for all of us, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Yes.
You are always and forever will be amazing to me, to my family, to us. And thank you.
Okay. MLK Day is not just a day off, it's a day on. What do you say about that? It's not just a day off. I mean, I'm not off anyway, I'm working. But because I work for myself and I don't get paid if I don't work. But it's not just a day off, but it's a day on.
Right, right.
Today, what do you think is the day? Look at it like a reset day.
You said like a reset day?
Like a reset, just like you could be stuck into the past. You could be stuck into feeling bad about yourself. But when I feel bad about myself or something, or feel bad about something, I say, you know what? The slave's done it. Can you turn the big light on over there?
Oh,
It feels a little dark in me.
yeah,
I say the slave's done it. And if the slave's done it, surely we can do it. And then he said about, not being a doctor, but actually Dr. Martin Luther King was a doctor in those days. Like as hard as things was, some kind of way, he still found a way to do it. And so the fact that he found a way to be Dr. Martin Luther King, a doctor, and back in those days, we really had no excuse, in my opinion. And then he was a black. And to become a doctor, that had to be a lot. I mean, that would even be more for a black woman in those days because women didn't really have many rights. But for a black man in those days, with all the negative influences around and all the uh, stigmas and all the struggles and all the you can't do it to become a doctor. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know how that happened. If y'all on this morning, y'all are on for a treat. We have Dr. DARRON Gardner about to come on. And he is a doctor. He's kind of like a doctor like me, but he doesn't have a doctorate of psychology. I think he has a PhD. Oh, the volume is down.
Oh no, everybody can hear you. We all can hear you. Everybody can hear you.
Okay, so what are you doing?
I'm making sure all the volumes are up because I'm gonna have to bring them on your live the phone. The other live, if you can't figure the other live out.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to bring them in.
We're about to have Dr. Gardner, so if y'all over here, stay over here. And for Dr. Gardner in a little bit. We're just talking about MLK Day and what it means to you. If anybody can type in the live, what does MLK Day mean to you? What does MLK Day mean to you? What does MLK? Yes, then I keep saying trying to reconnect.
No, it's good.
Okay. What does MLK Day mean to you?
Go ahead, type in the chat.
What does MLK Day mean to you? MLK Day is not just a day off, it's a day on. Dr. King's legacy is about purpose, courage, and this is what I want Black people to remember, is that, you know what, we have to be able to look out for each other, as much as we can. Can we do everything? No, we cannot. But do what we can do.
Absolutely.
So purpose, courage. To reduce Dr. King to I have a dream, but he also spoke boldly about justice. A lot of Black people a lot of Black women, I feel like we are about justice. We're always trying to stick up and stand up for someone, in my opinion. What do you say about Black men? Fight for justice? It seems like y'all Black men is a little bit more for ego, but anyway. Justice.
No, us Black men, if we're doing it correctly, we're here to protect our Black women, our sisters, our mothers, protect our own peace, because our own peace is something that needs to be protected as well. Like I always tell you, when we're in discussion, either in the heat of the battle or whatever we're talking about, hey, protect my heart. I don't want dysfunction.
You don't want dysfunction. Go ahead, keep going.
And then I heard him say that.
Yeah, I heard you say that all the time.
Right. I don't want dysfunction. I was born dysfunctional, and you can get your body comfortable through moving through dysfunction.
Okay.
In a relationship, there is no need for any dysfunction. Like at this age, we're not trying to fight on if we're gonna have babies or not, or stuff like that. So at this age, hey, that's what they call it. Older, we can consider the golden years.
Golden years?
Not yet. No, we're not there yet. No, but you got to prepare for that. And what better time to prepare for that other than now? Let's prepare for those years ahead of us, because most of us have more years behind us than we do ahead of us, unfortunately.
I know. And we don't know that we really do, because people are living to get 100. But we do know we close. I'm 52, so that'd be 104. Yes, I got more years behind me. I'm pretty sure. I mean, but at the same time, people are living to get 90 and 100. So, that's the better understanding that we really need to be caring for our body. We need to be continuing to move. That kind of thing.
So go to your line and turn your volume down. Let's read some of the comments that's coming through.
Okay. Well, we're waiting on Dr. Darren. Y'all are here for a real treat. this morning. There. And I feel like, and I am going to say something about this on Facebook, but I feel like if you say that you're going to give a competition, you need to give a competition. Like people, we spent about $1,000 going there. You say like 300 and something dollars on the flight to Atlanta. We had a rental car because we drove from Atlanta to Alabama. So that rental car was about $150.
Well,
Then,
well, it was all in total, it equaled about $900.
yeah.
Now, the price, giving a list of a breakdown of the price is unimportant.
Oh, okay.
The most important thing is do what you say you're going to do. Do what you say you're going to do. If you're going to give a competition, give it. Now, a grab bag is different from a competition where you have a deadline to bring music in. And it's different. All you got to do is ask people in the room, who wants to compete? Are you ready to compete? That's all that's needed.
Right, you ain't got to have matching outfits. It's grab bag. You couldn't practice in advance.
We give them all the time. And
none of that stuff.
I've been in Dallas and I've been here in Houston. People will travel for that. Now, everything else is amazing. It was the food. It wasn't.
Oh, yeah, that was nice.
It was good, but you didn't have. There wasn't enough options for the people that don't eat chicken and pork. Or, they didn't have any vegan options. I wasn't on just several vegans in there. But the dessert was good. The salad was good, but just didn't have any vegan options. And that's a work in progress.
The obvious was nice, just to sit down with other people, sit at a table, and have them bring you a meal. Like that was really nice. I really enjoyed that part, even if they could have gave me a roll, but the idea that they just had to sit down at the round table thing, it felt like family to me. I don't know. I like that.
They also had a comedy show, so if I didn't attend the comedy show, I didn't attend the day party either.
I was tired.
I was busy, so
you was asleep.
I didn't attend those events. However, so that was good. Like if you had a spouse that didn't care for dancing that much, at least you had a comedy show to go to. Then we also had a competition where where the man dressed up and we got voted. Doc won that one. So it was.
He got to get up there on the stage. Then he wanted to be up there and be in the limelight, which was cool. We both like that.
Right. So I was able to get on stage at that point, at that moment. Doctor, wait, no, Doctor to come in. But yeah, at that moment, Doctor.
I'll stay here for Dr. Gardner.
If you're on Dr. Gardner, make a comment on Shanette's live. I'll send you the link, and then I can pull you in.
Yes, because I wanted my whole hour with Dr. Gardner.
Now, however, but the whole takeaway is the event was a great event. It was a good event. They did not do the competition piece. So evidently I was on me and Dr. Westfall, I was only going to flew out for the competition piece because we probably would have went to.
Well, we don't know that we were the only one that
we don't know.
That nobody was signed up, but we were signed up. So it was not the fact that there was nobody signed up. And I could have got other people signed up.
Right. You could have got.
Because I know for a fact I could have got 70 signed up. but then people didn't know where to sign up and how to sign up. And they probably said they wanted to sign up, but they didn't sign up.
Correct.
So I didn't like that part. I think if you're doing something like that, there need to be somebody specific over making sure that that competition goes well and people are signed up.
Right. The competition, well, our event, we could have had our event in Dallas. It would have been just as extravagant as that event. I'm shying away from the Dallas for right now. However, it would have been just as extravagant as that event, or we could have went to Suffolk where her sister lives.
Norfolk.
Okay. Well,
Norfolk had nights there, and my sister lived in Norfolk. We didn't have no room there or no rental car.
right. So it would have came out to about the same price. We came out to about the same price.
Right.
So,
we didn't have to go down there.
Yeah. So, we only chose better for the competition piece.
Right. So that was Jack. People shouldn't say they're going to do something and don't do it. That's not fair to people.
There we go. So let me bring them on. All right, Dr. Darren, I'll bring you in.
Dr. Darren to come on. I just think
Yes, he is.
so.
Mhm.
We're trying to bring him in.
Anyway. All right, I'm adding you in, Dr. Darren. There you go.
Hey, I'm going to be excited about talking to Dr. Darren, y'all, because I like to hear from a male's perspective, from a male therapist. And also, y'all can take people who want therapy, who want a therapist, take Dr. Darren's information, because y'all don't know him personally, even though he does know he used to dance. He used to be a stepper too. Oh, I see Dr. Gardner. I can see him, but I can't see him on here.
Okay. Doctor, we're on live.
Barely, hold on.
One moment.
Make sure your volume is up.
Let me adjust the volume here.
Dr. Gardner, make sure your volume is up.
I think it is. I'm on my phone.
You're on your phone? Okay.
All right. Well, we're gonna make it work.
Okay, talk some more.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. You just not loud like me. See how loud I am? You know, I'm just naturally loud. Just naturally loud. But I want to make sure people can hear you because I'm excited about your book. I want to make sure not that you're looking for new clients, but I do want to make sure that you give your information out for people who are looking for a therapist. Because, you know, me personally, I can't do therapy with people who know me, but they don't know you. So you can, it can't be way back there. I can't even hear at all. No, hold on, I'm talking to Herman. Be a little louder, use your loud voice today. Yeah, use your loud voice, Dr. Herman. Use your loud voice because I can barely hear you. Hold on. What's saying?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh.
Now the video on your computer, how does it look?
It's good.
You can see yourself?
Mm-hmm. No, I can see that back in the back. Don't worry about me. As long as they can see him. We try to just get the camera set up right. Okay, I can see the top of my head. Okay, there you go. I can see my glasses. There you go. There you go.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, Dr. Garner. First of all, I just want you to know, like, when we used to do our podcast, I still use a lot of this stuff you told me. Like one particular thing you told me, we talked about Dr. Slaves, and you talked about how, you know, also from slavery, we got resiliency. But before you go into that, can you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, my name is Darren Garner, Dr. Darren Garner. I'm a clinical social worker.
Okay.
A clinical social worker, and I'm an academician. So, you know, I kind of mix that idea of scholar practice in terms of my career. You know, a lot of besides that as well.
What's an academic? I mean, what is that? You know, that was the professional word. I didn't understand what that meant.
I was teaching at a university, right? I do research. I am on a team professor at Purdue, and I do research. So I'm always kind of looking at what's the evidence, right? You know what I mean? Along with that, with some experiences that I have as well, just kind of growing up in rural Louisiana. But an academician is something, anybody who works at a university who does teaching, research, scholarship, you know what I mean? So that's what we call an academician.
Oh, okay, because you do a wide range of things there.
Most people that look up kind of do a wide range of things, I'm sure. You know, and like yourself, you know, you do a wide range of things too, to probably kind of pay our bills.
Yeah. Well, because I can't do counseling fully. You know, I have to make sure, like right now, I put my schedule Monday through Thursday, and after Thursday, I have to do something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I can't just do counseling 7 days a week like I would like to. I can't do that no more. I have to do something else, you know?
You know, after years of doing it, when I was younger, I remember they take 12 classes a day. But when you start to learn self-care, how, you know, like you can't, you know, when you book like that and you run it, like you really can't give the care that people need and pay for. So now I kind of see a few clients a week, but I give them the best service that I can, and not just trying to have no catch-up care. So yeah.
Okay. So that was one thing I learned from you about the resiliency. What do you say about that? When you talk about African American, you said that all we talk about is slavery and the bad things, but there's more.
Yeah, you know me, like, the resilience. Look at it from my thing is that we kind of look at it from, it's like trauma. But like when we practice trauma work, right? You know, we can take the trauma that we experience and we can go and we can always look at it from we look at the trauma bad, it's affecting us, it's affecting our mental health, ruminating, and we can do the same thing with slavery, right? Slavery was a trauma, right?
Yeah.
Because it was like it was a atrocity, meaning to kind of wipe the population out.
Right.
And how we bounce back, right? How we went through that idea, like we got some anger about it, the trauma behind it, but look at the positive, or look at the resilience of people who took a 6-month boat ride. You know, we just packed up, and some people jumped off, and they took these boat rides and just to make it to the land so they could continue their legacy, right?
Yeah, that's how big their legacy was. That's how much they built. They believed in legacy.
Strong they was to make, man. You know, being like just being in Africa and going to slave castles and different places like that. You know, be like we too soft to make it how they think. You know, but just knowing that DNA is in us.
Yeah.
They DNA is in us, but we gotta I think we gotta teach history for people to know it. You know, we can't just like try to abandon. And I was way back then, but we still need to know. We need to know kind of like where our origins come from and how resilient we are. That's just a part of our culture, right?
Yeah. Like what it was about. Know it from more than one perspective, though, not just the perspective of negativity, but the perspective of this is what they went through. This is why they were fighting. They made that important, despite all that other stuff was going on. Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about so another thing that you said when you talk to a Black man, don't ask him what he's thinking. Ask him don't ask him how he's feeling, ask him what he's thinking. I use that a lot. What do you say about that?
You know what I'm saying? But we kind of train, we're not trained this work. We should be. I think, but we're not. Until a man can kind of get in touch with his feelings, you got to ask him what you think, right? Hey, what you think? He'll tell you what you think. Because we're not trained in, like some people like to counsel and say, well, I feel sad. Like we don't
use this wheel behind me. See that wheel behind me?
If people learn that we're not just coming in for mental health, like in general, that will help you with all types of communication across the spectrum for your job, school. Like that will is more. I know they think it's always mental health, but that business wheel, it And
Yeah.
then he'll tell you how he feels.
Right. Because I just tell them, like the counseling space is a space to get your thoughts out so that you're not in there, they're not in your head by themselves.
Correct.
But I think that helps women too. To ask, if you have a man and you want to know more about him, ask him, what are you thinking?
What you think? And what you think? You know what I mean? Because we think a lot. We try to think logically. We learn. A lot of us learn not to think on impulse.
Oh, really?
So we gotta, but we think logically. That's why it's always good to kind of act. What you think? Hey, you see your husband or your boyfriend, they in thought.
Yeah.
Face right there, just hey, babe, what you think? Right? You know what I mean? So but you'll get how he's feeling through what he's thinking at that time.
Right. But I think the space has to be safe too for him to tell you what he's thinking. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta be a safe place. Yeah. It gotta be a safe place.
Yeah, because I think a lot of men feel like in these relationships they just be bill payers. People don't care what they think.
True, but I think how they do. But I think as a man, you gotta have that authority. It's more than a bill payer, right? I just think you gotta establish that authority. Yeah, I provide financially, but I provide all these other experiences, socially, emotionally. I provide for my family in all those areas.
Right.
It's still just finance, but you get burned out with that.
Right. And
you provide in other areas, you start to live a more fulfilling life providing in all those areas. You kind of see legacy following behind you. They seeing how you roll. They roll like you. Y'all having conversations. And they kind of, they come into their spiritual because of social learning. If they see that, they come into, they learn to lead spiritually, socially, financially, right? They can see that because of social learning, but a lot of times, a lot of kids not, a lot of families not seeing that.
hey, Dr. Darren, I'm probably more excited about your book than you are. Can you tell us about your book?
So it's coming out in the 3-series book. It's called The Miseducation of the Survivalist. And it's exactly what, again, the title is The Miseducation of the Survivalist.
Make sure you type it in there when you get a chance to, okay? So people can, when it comes out, people can know how to find it.
The first year,
I'll put a picture of it later on this live because we're going to be sharing this live out. We're going to be breaking it up. We'll put a picture on it, okay? Later on.
Okay, so Miseducation of the Survivalist, right? It's based off I call it the Miseducation of the Survivalist because, like you mentioned earlier, a lot of us are just being survival mode.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to kind of how we've been miseducated about that. Changing that narrative that again, you're more than a bill payer, right? You should, man. I'm just making it.
Yeah.
How you doing, bro, man? I'm just making it.
Staying out the way. That's what most people say. I'm just making it, staying out the way.
But I think life should be more fulfilling than just making it. And so this book kind of covers that. It's from a term I learned when I was in Garner. A lot of men. It really comes like one of the things I kind of run on part of is the Black Man's Lab, and it's based off a lot of information that we cover in the Black Man's Lab. And the Black Man's Lab is just a group of counselors, social workers, like male, because therapy and mental health is more of a female-dominated profession. We got a group of men just recruiting other men to this profession because of the scarcity. And the Black Man's Lab is a part of that. Young students between Prairie View, Howard, Clark, Atlanta, like we are just trying to get more African American men to come into social work and mental health and raising scholarships. And this book is kind of based off a lot of conversations we would have with these young men as well. So it addresses a silent mental health crisis among Black men. That was the book do. Particularly, it looked at depression, emotional emotional suppression and suicide. It's often misunderstood or ignored, right? It's like suicide. You can look at the suicidal rates of Black men and how they shot up over the last 60 years. And I know like civil rights and other times like that way harder than what we experience today. And I think, you know me, but that's my perspective. And Black men had literally zero suicides during the civil rights, you know me, and how now those people, though they went through racism, we all experienced racism, but they saw it visibly every day. But they didn't kill themselves. So now, how now our numbers have shot up over the past, or over that period of time. So that's one of the things it addresses. A lot of my articles and publications are in that area, because of my silent publications, looking at African American male suicide. So,
well, that's amazing.
So, it's just that, like, Black men, like we talk about, I know a lot of, hey, they just be coping skills. They're not failing to cope, but they're surviving system that's never designed for the humanity to heal, right? You know, so we in a system that was never designed for us, right? You know, so this book kind of addresses that. I know a lot of how we label behavior sometimes, like anger and defiance, you know, emotional withdrawal. Teaching Black men that that's actually adaptive trauma response.
Oh, really? The emotional withdrawal?
Yeah, emotional withdrawal. Like, you know, we like to hate y'all angry, y'all defiant, emotional withdrawal, but not really. That's how we adapt the trauma response. I'm trying to teach, you know, in terms of the book, it's trying to teach Black men, hey, you're not an angry person. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you're not defiant, but those behaviors are how you adapt to trauma, right? That's how you respond to trauma. It's not your character, right? You know, because sometimes we'll in the systems, like, you know, because I got a lot of experience, like, about justice or adults. Working in being mental health, working in employment. What I saw across those years is how we
I can't even hear it.
Did we freeze?
I can't hear it. Hold on a second. And she could have waited 30 minutes. It's such a good to be here. I can't hear it. Hold on, dear. You could have said that you're going to get here in a minute. So she can wait a few minutes. I thought it was 20 minutes. Hold on, dear.
Okay.
I can barely hear you. Why?
All right. So 20 minutes more.
I'm sorry, I can't hear him real well.
Darren, go ahead and speak. Yes.
Go ahead, Darren.
Okay. So again, the book it talks about how the person is being it looks different, right? It's more about irritability, not about the man. And the book is a combination between how you provide it because you're a man or you find it because you're a position. It gives you skills to kind of work with that population, right? Being able to show cognitive ability and learning that population. So the person being also looks different, right? It's more about irritability. Even in adolescent males, exhaustion, they take risks, they shut down. It's not about, hey, I'm sad, or, you know, so sometimes those behaviors of like irritability and anger, those are more depressive signs for young African American men. But we look at like places like juvenile justice, places like school and juvenile justice, they take that more in conduct disorder, opposition to fine disorder. And you know,
Yeah.
you get those type of diagnoses, the system
Early in life.
system handles the risk of those drugs for warning. Yeah, he thought antisocial because you got these labels on you like anger and defiance, but when actually it's a trauma response. That's the depressive trauma response. They're trying to change that idea for position. It looked at suicide like it's a 3-part series.
Right.
And how intervene too late. You know, we focus on the price instead of long-term emotional erosion and isolation. We gotta start focusing on that early in the kids' life, not when they just at crisis, right? When being or at crisis.
Right.
Addressing their emotions early.
Right.
It combines clinical science, trauma-informed practice. They got this Afrocentric coming from Black men. They got this Afrocentric psychology and liberation psychology. Because they use this culturally grounded healing approach. Like healing circles. Men need healing circles. Like in the Black men's lab. We always got healing circles where we see people. Like, man, this place or this space is safe, right? And that's what I tell me when I'm counseling individually or in group. My whole thing as a clinician is establishing safe space, right?
Yeah, you can talk. You can say whatever's on your mind without being judged.
Exactly. So that's part of the culture. And they use culturally grounded healing methods, right? I pull some from like Native Americans, right? How they group that they have and how we kind of in the ideal of brain, the dynamics of culture is right? And so that's part of that method. It teaches men number one how to name emotion safely, like that will back that, right? Try to name that emotion safely. Like, hey, being transparent about your emotion. I really don't like to use vulnerability because that goes against the man's nature. Being vulnerable. Vulnerability means fear. And a lot of times we don't want to fear. Like, we don't want to fear nothing of a man, right? So I like to use words emotional transparency.
Yeah, emotional transparent instead of vulnerable. Like the words matter too.
Exactly.
Emotional transparent. Emotionally transparent.
Exactly. Emotional transparent. And I think somebody put emotional control, emotional intelligence. And this book teaches that. It teaches about emotional intelligence. How like you become self-aware, you are manage, right? When you understand yourself, you can manage better. You can manage yourself better.
Right. If you understand yourself and how you feel it.
Exactly. And if you start to become self-aware, it enhances your relationship, understand your trick, right? So you understand how to deal with other people because you know your trick. So you can manage your relationship at home, at work, right? Because you understand yourself, and manage yourself, then you go into I can manage relationship. And then you become just more social aware. Read the room well, right? You start to read the room. You know when to say something and know not to say it sometimes. And this book kind of covers a lot of that information. I called it in the book Building Emotional Literacy. Building Emotional Literacy. And learn how to take accountability without self-destruction.
Oh, that's a good one. Learning how to take accountability without self-destruction. Self-destruction. I love that. Learn to take account. Give me one tidbit on that. Learn to take accountability without self-destruction, without being so angry.
From that, when I'm take accountability for it, but don't say I'm in the state. This is the way it was. Get transparent. I named it on the post. I was angry in the moment, or I was sad in the moment, whatever I was going through. Take that accountability, but don't self-destruct. Know that you're human and you got room to make mistakes. Because sometimes we got to be perfect. And a lot of times we feel like put that pressure on us as men. You got to be perfect. So you can't let. But sometimes you just got, take other accountability and move forward. People will get over it, right? They'll get over it. But long take that accountability and get better from that mistake. So it covers that information. Also, like claiming the other and getting men back on purpose. What I hurt for in terms of legacy skills.
Yeah.
And I think so. Get back to return to what I did. We're not all that what they kind of portray. The media trying to beat us down sometimes. We definitely not that. because our numbers are not going to some of the stuff that the media try to portray about black people. You know, the media ain't trying to know they know. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, if you kind of look at the data, I don't really want to kind of get into that. It's more about, hey, you know, counseling, but, you know what I mean? So, but reclaiming our purpose again. So, you know, here is framed as restoration and reconnection.
Restoration and reconnection. So restoration and reconnection. Talk about restoration and reconnection.
Learn how to restore them. How, like, sometimes we got as a baby, got to learn how to self-care. Like, we give everything, but we got to learn that, you know, in terms of restoration, we got to take care of ourselves too. We got to, you know, healthfully in terms of like physical. We got to, you know, we got to eat right. We got to work out. You got to read. Get in touch with your spiritual purpose, right? Restoring yourself. You got a vacation. You got to do whatever.
You sure got a vacation too, because I was just I had a really slow last 2 weeks. Look, I didn't like my small check, but I feel restored, you know.
And reconnection, like, man, like, hey, okay to say, man, I'm like I mentioned earlier, I'm sorry. Go back and heal our relationship. If we're struggling with the few issues, learning the terminology and learning the emotional intelligence. So reconnecting people that, you know, if they're good, like, you know, like, you made a mistake and you know you support that relationship. And that's something that's on your mind, being able to kind of reconnect with those relationships, right?
Yeah.
So reconnection is important. And because I say I'm sorry or I apologize, that's not a weakness, right?
Right.
That's not a loss of masculinity. Taking care of yourself and reconnecting is not a weakness. It's not a loss of masculinity, right?
Right. And one time that he went and he apologized to somebody, and he had been in a lot of stress, and his stress just relieved when he did that apology. It just relieved his stress. Yeah.
You don't want to tell those relationships up. You know, so we'll think about that. You know what I mean? And so it's always sometimes we get so ego-centered and stuck in our masculinity, and I ain't tell nobody, I'm sorry, I ain't bro, like, so if we think that's masculinity, but it's not, right? You know,
Yeah.
Repairing those, reconnect.
Reconnect. Restoration and reconnection.
Right. Restoration and reconnection just to kind of cover some of that information.
I think Herman got a question.
All right, Dr. Garner, let's take a pause break, but let's go to some of the comments in our lives in the audience. So, all right, let's go ahead. Okay, so Roxanne Rich, she started off saying, good morning, glad to see you're back. I hope you had a great time.
We was out of town.
We're out of town. Everybody was I want us to hurry back. She also says he was referring to Dr. Martin Luther King. He was a awesome person representing what it means to uplift the entire race and preach the gospel of treating all people as human beings. Darren, okay, that was you, Darren. We came in and said good morning. Aaron says good morning, brother. A lack of guidance from the homes is some of the stuff that you was mentioning about us black men with suicide rates. That's what I can imagine. Lack of guidance. Good morning, fam. This is from Harvey. Tawana, emotional control is everything. That was her response. Self-awareness takes a lot of work.
You sure do.
That's
and slowing down too.
Tawana as well. Tawana also says accountability starts while young men are young. Having to restart take a lot of recognizing that. The safe spaces are key.
Yeah.
Safe spaces are key.
The safe space is key.
Now we're coming up on
to being able to do any of that stuff. Would you say that, Dr. Darren, that safe spaces is the key.
Now we're coming up on a 9 o'clock hour.
Hold on, wait, I'll look back at 10 o'clock, so don't rush it.
Well, I gotta get that.
Oh, you gotta go to this, but I don't have.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Okay, so Dr. Garrett, what did you say about that? Like, I feel like sometimes that people, like the Black man needs a safe space, we all need a safe space, but we also got to be able to create a safe space ourselves. Other people, in order to have a safe space.
Give me a phone. Give me a phone.
I'm talking back in the relationship.
I'll get this one.
What do you say about that?
But I think it all falls self-awareness. Self-awareness allows you to create safe spaces, right?
Call this. I'm gonna make sure I don't know.
I think a lot of times people for family, learn self-awareness, self-management. If they emotional intelligence, you learn how to manage the relationship. It teaches you how to create safe spaces, right? So it's hard to create safe spaces when it's written all over your face. If I know that you don't got to say that, I ain't saying that, but it's on your face, right? That's not a safe space. It's written all over your face. And that's why sometimes people need to seek therapy and counseling because it's a safe space, it's confidential, it's non-judgmental. Man, I ain't going no therapy, man. But sometimes you got to get that stuff out in a safe space, right?
Yeah.
Who's trained to be non-judgmental? Who can't release your information? Sometimes family go tell you your information. Girl, it was what she said, right? So but as clinicians and licensed, we are bound to talk.
Right, you can't say nothing you tell us.
So, but you can get that stuff out. Quit ruminating, because that rumination is what kind of kills stuff sometimes. But again, safe space. You can learn that in therapy, how to create safe spaces so you and your husband can have a conversation because you don't really know how to create safe spaces.
Right. A lot of people don't have the tools. A lot of people really don't have the tools. They wonder why they don't do it because they don't know how to do it.
Exactly.
And they want to learn it off Facebook and something like that, and they got to learn from professionals who know how to teach it. We know how to teach them how to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because we spend our whole day, week, month, year, 10 years training on how to teach them how to do that.
How to have one talk. I work with a lot of mothers and teenagers, so I'd be happy teaching moms, single moms, how to have one conversations with their sons, right?
Well, tell us more about that. Tell me about that.
Just conversation 20-30 minutes a day, so that I kind of teach parents to create these safe spaces. 20-30. That's not teenagers. 20-30 minutes a day. It can be a radical. How having a conversation, not allowing when they fall right quick. Having that how was school, having structured questions that you want to ask 20-30 minutes a day just to see how things are going. Keep you tuned in, right? But again, that's part of that social awareness. I'm tuned in to my kids, to my family, but not just looking and trying to dominate, but through conversation when kids become teenagers sometimes. So I call those things what talk.
Now that's important. I've never thought about that, and even as a therapist, but that's significant to have these heart-to-heart conversations with them.
Yeah, smart talk, right? Heart-to-heart smart talk. Been teaching us as a parent for a while how to have those heart-to-heart structured questions, so you can stay tuned in. You know what I mean?
That's why they end up like stuff like some of them that go to games. Somebody finally listen to them. I'm just saying, somebody finally talk to them.
You know what I mean? Exactly. No smart talk. You listen because you learn not to be judgmental. You learn to have how things too. So you can learn all of it. So I was a teenager too. So I'm gonna be non-judgmental. I hope you make the train pay the right thing.
Yeah.
But I'm not going. You make a mistake again. You make a mistake. I'm not gonna frown at the judgmental. Right? I'm gonna pay respect. I don't want you to self-destruct from that mistake. As I mentioned earlier in that book, we learn at it out of it. I can't make these mistakes. She gonna yell it, and she gonna be out loud,
Oh, learn a lot about it.
Exactly. Smart talk, hey, your mom, just transparent. Like, I want to have a conversation. And I also teach kids.
And you can't get out of it because, maybe that's when they learn to be avoided because people don't talk to them.
It enhances communication skills too, where a lot of people struggle. We learn not to talk, but we can learn on how again, that fifth wheel back there, how to communicate and stuff. So, we start to teach men how to communicate and how to label stuff and not being ashamed about a mistake that they make.
I'm gonna read every word of your book when it comes out, and the reason why I say that too is because I feel like there's therapy, there are therapy books, and then there's Black therapy, and because I mean, we're like elders, but we're like ourselves. We have our own type of ways a lot of times. So Black therapy is we need Black therapy too, not just therapy, but Black therapy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. So yeah, because because again, we can see the dropout rate. That's why actually in studies you can see black men who go to therapy, who go to see like white providers, and so but there's some great white providers if they're culturally responsive and culturally humility. Some of them believe they don't should have to do all of that. But you see the dropout rate of African American men in seeking mental health is high because of that, right? That increases the suicide rate because they don't get the care that they need. But we got the culturally responsive care. What you're talking about now is care being culturally responsive, right?
Yeah.
So and it's not to put down anybody. It's not racism. It just is what it is sometimes. Like, different populations. A lot of women want to deal with women, and I refer to women if they want a women therapy.
Yeah.
Like, we got to say that sometimes. Hey, I don't have skills to deal with the population. Let me refer to some experts in this area.
Right. It's funny, in my practice, a lot of men who date Black women come to me, other races of men. They want to understand Black women, so they come to me.
That's not a bad thought process that they make. Let me see from her perspective, right?
Yeah. They want to know how Black women think because they dating a Black woman. So they want to know from a therapist, how do Black women think? And why do they act like this? And why did they say it like that? Because the women they knew was white or Hispanic. Or even Asian. I got a couple of Asian men dating Black women.
Yeah, definitely. Again, I understand that. Hey, I want some culturally responsive care. And the same thing about me. Sometimes they want that culturally responsive care.
Right. What other tidbits you got? I know your mind think all day. Let's hear your mind a little bit, your thoughts. What do you think about? What do you think about, Mr. Black Man?
Just again, I think I kind of covered most of what I just like trying to teach men that emotional armor that we have is a survival technique to racism, economic pressure, family instability, chronic stress, and we call them those how we learn to adapt to that kind of stuff, right? But over time, that becomes exhausting. It looks like dysfunction, but that's what that survival comes. We're in survival mode because we survive racism, economic pressure, family instability, a lot of chronic stress. So we learn to survive and feel like, hey, that's how we're supposed to live. That's a miseducation. Depression. I mentioned depression looks different, right? But I kind of mentioned the message that this book will come. It's clinical, but it's readable for everybody.
Right.
As a white, as a Black man, you can read. So everybody can kind of read. This book will be reading.
We might do it like a book club. I might get some women and we do it like a book club. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe I'll come back and talk about something. Say, hey, names of a lot of it is from our perspective and have conversations about it, right? It's not a pathological book like a lot of clinical books that have been written. It's like, hey, you got a diagnosis. It's not that. It's just it's teaching clinicians as well
Hey, Dr. Darren, something that you said earlier, I wanted to go with something you said earlier. You talked about having the conversations, and I'm like, I remember one day you said, make sure when you have conversations, it's not always negative. Because I mean, yeah, make sure that when you sit down and have a conversation, it's not just negative a lot of times. What do you say about that?
Man, the good before bad, or the good, always, hey, let's, in terms of what's been going on good first.
Yeah.
Take the bad a little bit better. Sometimes you always complain, you always negative, you always what was good first. Then let's go into what could be improved, right?
Yeah. What could be improved?
Like that's what kids, working with your husband, even if you're a supervisor on a job, you got employees. What can they do good first on a macro level, and then go into some areas of improvement?
Right, not necessarily bad. We'll have to be improved, and this might go better if we do it like this. Let's address it in this way.
Correct.
So I have people do that in counseling. I have them to get rid of the word fix and switch it to improve. How can we improve this? How can we do this better?
That's part of the healing process. The solution. Well, let's start establishing the solution. You complain about it, and you ruminate about it. What's the solution to move past your complaint?
Right. I teach my clients to do a thing called making a request instead of a complaint.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right, because if you sit down and talk to somebody and it's always negative, I mean, it's hard for them to even sit down and talk because they know they're going to be like on punishment in trouble. Well, I definitely appreciate you coming on today and just say your name of your book again, and we're going to be out and give you some more information about that again.
Bible, first point, education of the survivalist, three-point theory that kind of covers, again, it's not only for Black men, but for people who support Black men, like clinicians, educators, coaches, faith leaders, institutions,
Yeah.
Just healing is not an individual issue, it's a collective responsibility to kind of heal. So it is a miseducation of the survivalist. Pick it up. I think it'd be good to just kind of pick it up, circulate it. Again, I'm willing to have conversations about it. I think it'd be a good reader. It's gonna be a great reader. But I have to be back before around the release time to kind of talk about it again. So if you don't mind having me back.
Yeah, of course. Because I'm gonna read it myself. As soon as they come out, I'm gonna be one of the. I'll put it on the pre-order. How do I do a pre-order? I'm putting the pre-order in with you. I was sending you send me and my cash after price, and I'll put a pre-order, okay? Because I want to read it for clinical guidance because of course I deal with a lot of Black men too. And it's nice to hear from a Black man, because I'm not a man. I'm just saying. Right, exactly. It's hard. Some things you need to hear from a man. As a woman, you can't try to beat a man, but you can understand things from a man's perspective, and I get a lot of insights from you. And so I really appreciate that. Hey, can you tell me a little bit about when you used to study about these people who I remember you used in the study where you studied people who had committed crimes. What was that again?
Right? I was litigation study for attorneys with our death row, kind of go back and look at their birth files. Anything that happened to them at birth. I feel it's the best history on people who committed heinous crimes.
Yeah.
Death row. Anyway, what happened? The turning point, a critical incident in their lives that made people or committing these type crimes. And if you think that we save their life, that they get a reprieve from death row by something in their life. See, when the school district may have failed them, they didn't have no in his life, right? So trying to go back and find out what's the turning point in that person's life
happened there? What what changes people so much?
I think teenage years, between the ages of like 13 and 18.
You're right.
A lot of people don't establish that. Those are what we call identity versus identity development in practice. Identity versus identity, we confuse you. If you don't establish your identity between the ages of 13 and 18, a lot of people go into what's called identity fusion. They'll do anything. It's early. Why they join gangs? Because they're trying to establish an identity that they never had. That's why it's important in those years of life, 13 to 18, for help you establish identity. Mentorship program, right? The passage programs, program, right?
So you said between 13 and 18, if they haven't discovered no identity, that's what identity confusion happens.
In life after that, if they don't establish that identity, you'll see 40 years old, no identity, 50 years old, no identity. Because they didn't establish it during those critical years, right? So
yeah.
At 13 to 18, you'll see some people like that, kids in the area or Hispanic, right? They transition. That's some people transition from boy to man, right?
Yeah.
From young man to man, but people to transition with an identity. That's why stuff like Right to Passage program is good for black kids or mentorship because we can start to make that transition. Establish what your name is. You're supposed to establish what's your identity, and it kind of helps you out in later life.
Well, that's a lot. I'm just saying. How was that for you working at the kind of program? How was that for you? It was very enlightening.
I'm always hoping to learn. I think I learned all my other positions. And now the research that I do, I'm not only talking about the numbers, being able to put stats in it, look at what the research say about it. Actually, I conduct a lot of studies in these areas. So it's just not, hey, I'm just talking. Some of it is from experience, but it's some about the studies that I can engage in and work that I do. So I'm thankful for being able to develop as that scholar position because I always want to teach. I actually practice this stuff like this. So I'm happy for all my to make me professional I am today.
No, okay. Well, the last thing something that I mean, you said a lot, but is there something else that you would like people to know that you've learned through the time and you wish people knew?
My thing, and I know it's a bit controversial, but understand one thing that I learned how brilliant we are as a people, and I wish we do that. I wish that I established something where people could know that hey, we're brilliant as a people. I know when we get to the school system, they hear us that man, you was a slave. They start us in school with a gift that you're a slave, right? That's the first thing you have to read about that. When you're a slave. You have about your 7th grade history, and you should have the mind frame. So I was able to kind of reframe that. I think one thing that we need to see how great we are as a people, how young we are as a people, as a black people, how selective we are as a black people. Once I learned that, I think it enhanced my motivation through the work that I do. So just learn it yourself. Big sign that know thyself, right? Know thyself. Know who you are.
Okay.
The things come a little more comfortable.
But one thing I always tell myself, I said, if I get stressed out even a little bit, I said the slaves did it. The slaves figured it out. I ain't got no. I'm not about to be stressed out about nothing because the slaves figured it out. That's enough for me to just regroup.
Stressed out about no stuff, man.
Yeah.
Slave count, like being and I know one thing I can do with us is just like it shows us that we resilient, whether we from that side or whatever, we resilient as a people.
They still cared about people. They had such hearts, and they were still singing. They were still singing.
That's part of the doing. Part of the tribal, tribal culture. I said we got tribal culture.
Right, the slaves, you can learn a lot from the slaves. I'm just saying, we can learn a lot from that history. What about MLK Day? What kind of thoughts do you have on MLK Day?
Before we get to,
Okay,
before we get to this, go ahead, you know what I'm saying? All right, so we have some comments. Earlier today I was listening and we're talking about transitioning. I was on the car ride to get it my stepdaughter, Destiny's daughter, Jeanette's daughter. So it says you was talking about transitioning the man, and we a lot of young men reach out to games because I was heavily in games when I was coming up, and yeah, it's about the conversations that you have with your kids. Like every time I get my stepdaughter from school, I ask her what's going on, how's everything, do you need anything, you know. So I have those conversations, with my stepson Devin. Just to make sure there's nothing that I can contribute, so they won't look outside and go somewhere else. I talk to my kids as well that live in other households. My older boys in college, I talk to him because I do want to keep them away from games. I don't want them growing up in the house. I've seen a lot of stuff when I was 13 years. I was more than 13 years old, and I've seen a lot of stuff that a 13-year-old shouldn't have seen, shouldn't have gone through. You know, so yeah, that's one thing that I can talk to them about in this household. What else was in here?
But I really enjoyed that. Spend some time, even if you say 30 minutes, and we can start now. You hadn't been doing that. You don't have to feel crucified. You can start today to sit down and talking to your kids, talking to family members, nephews, nieces, whoever. Give them an ear. And I think learn to listen, because a lot of my kids will say, I don't like to talk to my parents because all they do is talk and tell you what to do. I mean, be a listener. Yeah, be a listener. They have a lot of things. Kids are smart. Young people are very smart.
Because if you're not because if you're not talking to somebody else is, and that somebody else is a peer their same age that don't understand, and they just talking what we call a bunch of gibberish. And they may be taking that gibberish as gospel. So that is so important, Dr. Garner. Like you said,
we ain't been necessarily. I ain't necessarily been doing the best of it, but I was taught today. Because I mean, it's not about being. I didn't do that. I haven't done that. Start now.
Right.
Even if they're grown, start now. They could be 35. Start now.
Our report says, "Good morning, fam." CC Car Wash says, "Good morning, fam." Let me go to my other feed. Now I have a comment from Twin, and he is a city council runner in the DFW area. He said we need therapy because we never set a real foundation breeding our children with unrealistic expectations, giving a false sense of self, loving and wanting everything outside of self. That is from Twin there.
And that's interesting, like wanting everything outside of self, not putting enough focus on self, putting more focus on things. What do you say about that, Dr. Gardner? Putting a lot of focus on things and having things and not really putting focus on yourself and who you are as a person.
Self-aware, manage stuff, have things. Like things are something to you. Because if you're self-aware, you get the research. People who got high self-awareness or CEOs, they function well in society. So I think the city councilman, he mentioned again, in his statement, he mentioned self, right?
Yeah.
Right? Being self-aware, understanding the triggers, motivation, trying to understand some of that.
The triggers and motivations. Understand your triggers and motivations. I never thought about the motivations, but not just your triggers, but understand your motivations. That's what I usually use for teenagers. What do they want? What motivates them?
That's self-aware.
So triggers and motivations. I can put that, the motivations.
Sometimes. Now, you know that makes you angry, but it makes you angry. That person needs to change. No, first you understand that makes you angry. Why does that make you angry? It's such small. Why does that make you big? Maybe it's something within me. If I'm self-aware, I don't blow that out of proportion. That's what I'm saying. So self-awareness
Right. I don't need everyone to change around me. I figure out what I need to change in. Now let's start with myself.
Absolutely.
Understanding motivations. I'm gonna put that one. Understanding not just triggers, but understanding motivations. So
All right,
go
Dr.
ahead.
Garner. And now, can you speak about Dr. Martin Luther King, how he inspired you and how he helped you through your education and what it means to you?
I think Dr. King, he went to everybody, black people. He was he just, kind of dynamic, on the move us forward in a non-violent manner, right? Just imagine this self-awareness that he had to have to kind of get through some of the things he got through. So again, he kind of continued the work of this forefather. He continued the work of in terms of we are resilient people, and you are holding us back, right? But if you allow us to be equal, we are humans. Allow us to be equal, and we'll flourish. So, but not only Dr. King, man, you got other people with WDB. I know it's his day, but they don't give us enough time to support. Black history should be everything, so it should be Dr. King, and Ida B. Wells, E. Franklin Frazier, WDB the Boys, the collective government.
Right, televised structures. Look.
A lot, but the collective government.
Right.
He thrives off the collective effort. He would say it, right? He would say that he thrives off the other people.
Right.
So,
right, our grandma. Look, there's a lot of other people. Look, our grandma who is still up around the streets was bringing to us. It's all kind of people.
Right.
So we gotta have his courage as well. We done lost that Dr. King courage. He had a lot of courage.
Right, courage.
Could have stayed back and not done anything, but he fought a good fight. He fought a good fight, right?
He said he'll give his life. He said, I'm not fearing any man. I don't care if they kill me. I think what I was going to say to you, I love that you wrote the book because it's not about, we can't take it with us, but what can we leave here? We can leave it here.
Right.
I love that you hear that. I love that you wrote this book because, we can't take it with us, but we can leave a lot here.
Right. And that book will exist long after we're gone, like videos, everything. Like, even I can even put this to dance. Like, a lot of people always say, hey, I didn't win this dance competition. And that's okay. But if you went out and did a perfect dance, your video will live on and last. So the win is not all that immediate win doesn't matter. It is longevity of the win.
So I'm glad you put the book out because your kids will be able to read it, grandkids. Me, I will use that book to inspire, understand more about Black men and inspire women to understand more about Black men and just whoever, like you said, it's whoever supports Black men. It's just not just for Black men. Whoever support Black men and work with Black men, having a more culturally, even though we Black, we're women, we understand a little bit, but we're not men. So we're more responsible if we understand each other better. We can be more responsible. I like that one day you came on the show and you said about the baby mama era. The people trying to support the baby mama era. You remember that? What you said about this baby mama era? Yeah. We don't need men. I don't need men. Right, I keep telling women that. Oh, good man want to be nobody who don't need them. What kind of joke is that?
So I want to provide leadership and decision making, spiritual work.
Right.
Right. It's more than financial. I'll make the money double. That's like it. So
that's why people looking at it when they say that. They look at money. But what about leadership?
Somebody who can stand the gap when it's tough, it's cold outside. We're going through those ups and downs of life. So men gotta, I feel a lot of stand the gap.
The tough part about this The tough part about this, doctor, is that to us, it is a short time. Oh, I don't know if I can hear you. Okay. Now, to us, it's a short time, but this has been a generational curse, and it gets worse as time go on. Like per se, our girls usually out there do the butterfly, then they get it twerking. Now you walking out, and it's just getting worse. Or my mom did it this way. I'm gonna do it better than she did, you know, and it's transcendently getting worse than it is getting better. Like the baby mama culture. I hear so many people, I'm out here looking for my baby daddy. Still today, not I'm looking for a husband, I'm looking to build, but it's so less of people that's looking for what we would consider getting married, having a family. I'm just looking for a baby, a partner to have a child with, you know.
That's crazy though. Yeah,
And the family structure is so important. It does so much. A healthy two-parent family house. So you can, again, it's in the down. I want it function. It functions way better than single family houses, right? You know what I mean? Like, so that's the data. I'm not, I know people hate that. Let's put the data instead because
right, so that's just surviving. Single parent homes is mostly surviving. We survived. Okay, well, yeah, you survived, but you could have thrived if you had more time with the kids because you didn't have to work 2, 3 jobs. You know what I'm saying?
you can have no talk about, right? So that,
Right.
the hand, if you don't need, not providing, not always providing for.
Right.
I think I do know that. Conversation with them today.
Right. It's not just about surviving. That's what they saying, that I can survive. You know you can survive. But what about thriving? What about doing something above surviving? Why don't you just try to survive out here? I mean, why would you get that? That's crazy thinking, ain't it? Like that's gotta be some kind of trauma thinking. And all you're trying to do is survive.
The trauma, right?
Yeah. But I'm gonna write about that about we're going from surviving to thriving and just blooming and blooming and all that kind of stuff. Get to surviving. Like let's get steps above surviving. Let's get above that. Everybody just trying to survive. Why don't you just try to survive and make it? I'm just making it, like you said. Just make it. That ain't no comment. That ain't no comment.
This indicates that things like, hey, I'm just making bro. From you another day, another dollar.
Yeah.
Let's thrive, bro.
Yeah, we trying to thrive. I'm gonna write something about that in my thing today. Thriving. Forget surviving. We want to thrive. We want to bloom. And we want our kids to do that. And it takes more than one parent and one person. Like they said, it took a village to
Right? You're right.
right. It also take a village with the knowledge, like listening to your book, reading your book, getting more information, gaining tools, because we don't know. A lot of times we think we can do better, but we don't know how to do it. And like that's what I notice with people in couples, like a lot of these couples, don't know how to do better. They have no idea how to do better. But they don't want to go to a therapist, knowing that we study this all day. Literally, we study human behavior and how to help you be better, how to help you thrive. I'm pretty sure you do too, because I know you are very clinical. But I know I'm studying all day and practicing for the most part of how to help people be better, how to help couples be better, how to help, how to help you thrive. And so y'all don't gotta come to me, go to Dr. Garner, because if I know you personally, you can't come to me, but you can go to Dr. Garner if he has, are you accepting new patients, Dr. Garner?
I don't. Yeah, I do accept it. I will accept it.
I'm really trying to get that group going. Why don't we use your book to get that group going? That would be a great way to get that group going.
I definitely having these groups, having those conversations, the book cover, some workbook talking how it'll cover like 8 sessions of group that you can have.
Hey, look, we need to do like Dr. King and put the time in. Man, Dr. King got work and he was busy, But he figured out how to help the community. We need to put an hour or two in a week and helping the community just by building that group counseling, because that's the best form of counseling is group. Like we need to decide to give back to the community and do that. And whoever got insurance, we can charge. If they don't got insurance, we come in anyway. Whatever, We're gonna make a commitment, Dr. Gardner, it's MLK Day. We're gonna make a commitment to use your book to begin to do it. We're starting as a book club, and then we can keep going.
I would love that, to have a conversation about that.
Okay, well, I'll dedicate 2 hours a week. I would dedicate 2 hours a week. We got an office already. All we need to do is get up there and come up with time to start inviting people. Y'all got to go and make a commitment that we gonna stand up like king and we gonna figure out.
We're gonna figure out the schedule. We're gonna figure out the schedule for this, and we will do it for everybody. Now we have a few questions.
And then we'll let you go, Dr. Gardner, because I know you're very busy.
Well, absolutely, I do understand that, Doctor.
Very smart black man.
It says, how do we deal with a media that deliberately depicts us as notorious criminals, untamed animals, ghetto motorfires, pedophiles, the hate of ourselves and others around the world? These are real enemies. How do we deal with the people that depict us, that don't understand us, like if you're scared of a pit bull, if you don't know about dogs? A lot of people instantly fear us, is what he's saying. How do we deal with that with the media?
I just think that we gotta to change those ideas. We gotta make moves. We gotta be on the media like y'all doing now. We gotta do podcasts to change that narrative.
Yeah.
The media has big control. They're gonna do what they're gonna do, and it's gonna stick in people's mind, but we gotta teach people that it's different though. Like we gotta do what we can in these spaces, in these AI spaces. We gotta interact.
Right, we can make our own media now.
The AI about our resilience as a people and how great we are. Now,
right.
Sometimes we do go to war, so can be war, but we don't want to do that. We love it. We gotta listen to this Afro beat. This love it. This love is real about. Like I think the media guys when we talk about killing people and shooting people.
Yeah.
And the big media, that rap stuff, rap, but that is hip hop. Hip hop was about community, and we done lost that across the board. So we start to damage ourselves for the media and the movies that we make.
Right.
And we like negativity.
The music.
Most negativity. We got a lot of positive.
The music that we hear and deal with, absolutely agree. There was another question here.
We got a lot of positive stories. Yeah. Because we like negativity too.
Sometimes we got people who know young guys in the space and that narrative. So they're gonna push that narrative. Money rule, economic rule. So they're gonna push that narrative. But we gotta have people who kind of change that narrative on the grassroots level. As Head Start centers in first grade, in second grade, changes that narrative, because if not, that narrative don't win. The media will continue to paint us like that.
Yeah.
Now we have 2 more questions. I apologize if I did not give y'all questions today. My apologies to anybody that I missed. We have 2 more questions now. My question to you before I get to the are you a Christian? Are you spiritual? What are you personally?
I am a Christian, that's why I kind of grew up in Christianity.
Okay, great. All right, fantastic. So when we close out, usually I'll give a prayer, but I'll ask you to give a prayer. I'm going to put you on the spot. Would you be comfortable doing that when we close out? And do that soon.
Sure.
All right. Now the next question I have is, how do we deal with a school system that teaches us to be employees, not as entrepreneurs? Teach us is a false history, including of a heritage.
I'm missed that. Broke up on it.
Okay, so the school, this person is saying the school district teaches us how to be an employee and not in entrepreneurship.
I think the whole school system teaches us how to be. But I think I don't know if school responsibility is entrepreneurship, right? I don't know. That's gonna be tough.
Right.
Speak to that. I just want to grant the teach social workers how to become entrepreneurship because the field of counseling is going to more entrepreneurship models and techniques. And a lot of times we talk about a school or graduate school, we know our character, but we know nothing about business. So I'm putting together programs for social workers and encourage you to teach them a little bit about the business. So I call it social entrepreneurship. But kind of get back to that question though. You're right. And I think they got to come, a lot of that entrepreneurship got to start at home.
Right, that never be a conversation you talked about, right?
We gotta be. We kind of lost our way in that. Our forefathers, the carpenters and the electricians and plumbing, and they passed that stuff down to the kids and taught them about the entrepreneurship model. But that gotta be the conversation we have in our community at church, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
That's something in church. You can't expect the school system.
Right, you can't put everything on the school.
What if they have? I think it'd be great if they had. We start to talk entrepreneurship and ideas and all that kind of stuff. But I think we can do a little bit of that in our community so our people can know about how to be an entrepreneur.
So you can take more responsibility in your own household and in our communities and in our churches too. And attend those events. Because churches be having those events.
Right.
Go to school. Take your kids to these events. Make sure that you are taking you are using resources.
All right. That was the last question. That was the last question. Dr. Garner, we're gonna definitely go out and get your book. Can't wait to read it. So leave us a link on how we can get your book. Subscribe to your channel if you're doing live on your channel or whatever we are. We will go ahead and definitely support you. And it's been amazing here with your time on the morning show with H2O and Dr. Butterfly. Like, thank you so much. Let me rebrand our show. The morning show with H2O and Dr. Butterfly, the relationship specialist. Actually, I did say two more questions. The last question is, can you define the dating pool in the community today? To be 40 plus, can you describe the dating pool for us? That's the last question.
I think, what's the dating pool? I don't know. I think it didn't have to change. I think it is what it is for this. I think it's 40 plus. It is for the I don't think the dating pool has changed. So I know I'm not I don't stand a relationship expert, and I'm not a relationship expert. I heard on more, mental health side, therapy side. But what I don't know the landscape. I think the landscape is changing because I think a lot of men are becoming more self-aware, right? I think a lot of men are becoming more self-aware. But I don't know. I don't know. I just think I don't have no answer for that. I'm not in those spaces or in that pool. But I know it's good, man.
A lot of ladies say it's a lot of crap in the pool when it comes to men. Now, in reverse, would you say it's in reverse as well?
I think both ways. It's a lot of crap both ways, right? But there's always been a lot of crap, right? That's where your shoes learning. Again, that's a skill. Learning how to choose a mate. Who am I as a mate? Self-awareness again. Who am I as a mate?
Right.
My relationship, because I'm self-aware, I'm not, not that I'm picky, but because I'm self-aware, knowing what I need in my life, right?
Right.
That's what I need to choose. But we go out compare ourselves, but we can't pick out based off just look sometimes. You know, is she cool? That's my thing. Are she cool?
Yeah, what kind of vibe you get?
Something first, sometimes I'm in there. It makes people delusional because it's pretty and you know, you look nice. People are dogs out, because you look nice, right?
Yeah.
Angry, depressed, all that kind of stuff. So, but understanding your self-awareness, I think self-aware, you start to pick what you want. You could avoid that kick the dating food and somebody gets you self-aware. But if you're not self-aware, you don't understand your triggers.
Right.
You will pick what you feel in your emotions.
Right.
And stuff to do with those lives.
Right. People waiting for you. They can be perfect for somebody, but they're not right for you in the first place.
Right.
Ain't nothing wrong with it, but they're not right for you personally. If you don't know yourself, you just let anybody in your life, and you just want to fill the space, and then there you go. But it's not about the dating pool being heavy duty. It's just that you don't know how to choose a good partner, and you may not be a good partner yourself. Look, you may not be a good partner your own self.
All right, Doctor, can you pray us out there, man? Thank you for that. Didn't mean to put you in a hot seat with that one. But thank you. I appreciate it. All right, go ahead and pray us out, Doctor. And any last words you'd like to say before we get out of here?
I think just ending with that, know thyself. Know thyself, right? Kind of deal with that. Work on knowing yourself. You'll see your life change, you know, in terms of your relationship, your self-esteem, your self-concept, your job, if you know yourself. So know thyself. I'll end with that.
Okay. You can pray us out.
Thank you.
Lord, quiet anxious thoughts, steady troubled hearts, and bring life to places of pain and confusion. Grant strength to ask for help, courage to receive care, and peace that surpasses all understanding. Let healing be gentle, honest, and complete. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. We love you, Doctor. We're singing song.
On your lunch day, we're gonna set up a book club thing on your, somewhere around your lunch day. Okay. Okay.
Everybody on the line, love y'all. Peace out. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace. See y'all.